Hey, so welcome. I want to share with you today the lunar breathwork um, remembrance practice. Today is the day 3 of the lunar cycle that started with the new moon in Capricorn. So day 3, and I'm going to share this so that you could see what day 3 actually looks like. So day 3 is very little bit of the moon is lit up, as you can see there on the screen. Just a little crescent is lit up. So I think if I remember correctly, it's about maybe 3 to 5% of the lunar actual body that we're seeing, right? This half of the moon is lit up. So mainly the body of the moon is still very, very dark. And on day 3, she is activating our sacral chakra, which is the gateway of creativity, of sexuality, and of manifestation. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're going to do the activation as well here. And also, this practice can be done every day with every single day of the moon cycle. The moon has 29 and a half day cycle. So we count that as a 30-day cycle just for the sake of, putting it in some kind of a linear way of working with it. And it'll affect two or three 2 or 3 days within each of the different chakras, the different gateways. And also, depending on where the moon is, so she also moves through the astrological signs, all 12 signs. So she happens to be in Pisces today, and she will also be in Pisces tomorrow, day 4. So we also have the Pisces vibrational frequencies, which kind of really brings us into the deep essence of the watery, primordial waters of a flow of essence of the divine. So, as I was saying, the lunar cycle, each day affects us differently. It will catalyze different aspects of our energy physiology, which is our chakras, which is the gateways, the different themes that are related with these gateways. And as such, there are also opportunities for us to dive in, to reflect, to embody when it's waxing. The first 15 days of the cycle is the waxing cycle, the waxing side of the moon where she's growing in light up to the first 15 days, up to the full moon. And then after the full moon, she will start her waning, in which she starts to become darker and darker and darker until we reach the dark moon. So, in the waxing cycle, we really focus on embodiment. We focus on the growing light. We focus on moving into embodying the qualities that are being activated for us that particular day. And in the waning cycle, we focus on releasing, dismantling, letting go of any and all conditioning, things that we've inherited, beliefs, survival patterns that in many ways have obstructed our light and our essence. And the waning cycle is also a cycle of integration. And so this is just kind of like a very quick summary of the daily lunar breathwork remembrance that can be done every day to connect, to align, to heal, and to access our whole self, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and connect us with the unseen liminal realms, our guides, and of course, the Great Mother. Let's take a seat, get comfortable, and we're going to work with day 3 of the lunar cycle. And I will start with our um, invocation of creating space, because I think that's really, really important. Um, and secondly, as she's in today, day 3, activating our sacral, I want you to think of your sacral gateway, which is right in your pelvic cavity, about 3 fingers from your belly button, your umbilicus, 3 fingers down, right in the center of your lower abdomen, that whole pelvic cavity. This is your womb space. This is your energetic sacral womb. And I want you to envision this part of your womb as part of your energy, physiology, as the seat, in many ways, like we said, creativity, manifestation, and sexuality. And these 3 are really expressions of desire, right? Of the essence of desire that's rooted in essence, in the divine source and force, in our life force, that the desire to become, the desire to be, which is fueling our desire to create, our desire to manifest out in the world, our ability to birth, whether it's children or whether it's projects or whether it's ideas or whether it's something concrete or something ethereal, like an idea. And so this relationship with desire, which can be very shut down in many of us, and for many women, it's shut down because it's been shamed. Desire, in many ways, have been shamed, and desire can come from this holy place and be an expression of divine source, of creativity, of birthing, but it can also kind of be and go more into the desire that becomes kind of like an addictive desire, an addictive need that is not rooted in something greater, that is not grounded, that is not holy, but rather an acquiring of or power or even of safety, trying to find ourselves in a desire that becomes something on the external level, something that we, because we're unrooted, we look for and tend to satisfy ourselves from the outer. And so that becomes kind of like a vicious cycle of never quite enough because it's not really rooted in the deepest essence of our being. It's not really rooted in our divinity. And so it becomes this, like I said, this vicious cycle that is destructive. That is destructive. And we see that. We see that in our world nowadays a lot. We're seeing that everywhere. And in many spiritual ways, in many spiritual beliefs and traditions, desire carries a very negative connotation. And of course, there's religious trauma around desire. And so we've shut down our bodies. We've shut down, in many ways, even our ideas of wanting something. And so that's something to reflect on while this moon is affecting, is activating our sacral womb, our relationship with desire. So I'm going to leave you with that so that you could just kind of digest that and see what spurs up when we're doing this practice. Now we're going to actually activate uh, this field in our bodies now. So let's just take a deep breath here. Just allow yourself to breathe, to relax. Letting your feet be connected with the earth, feeling your feet on the earth if possible. Dropping the golden threads of your being into the center of the earth and just feeling that connection and feeling the earth reciprocating. So it's just this exchange of energy. And also simultaneously opening up our head, crown, gateway, and just opening up to receive all of the vibrational frequencies of the cosmos, including that of the moon. And we'll bring them all in our invocation. So let's begin our invocation so where we can connect and create the sacred space so that we feel protected, and we also call in our spiritual team and our guides. Dear Mother, I bow my head, heart, and womb to you. For you are the creatrix and the creation. From your womb, the 10,000 things are born. I ask that you bring us close, awaken us, and keep us in your flow of divine grace. Hold us in your ecstatic presence where all veils are dissolved, leaving only your whispering truth as our teacher. Let us drink from this cup of mercy and merge with you into the annihilation of our being forever and ever, dear Mother. And so just breathing and allowing. So just calling in our main helping spirit. We all have one. Whether you know who they are or not, just calling in main helping guide that's with you this lifetime. And thank her for being present, being here, watching over you, guiding you, whether you're aware of it or not. And then let's call in the directions and bring them into our consciousness, into our sacred space, and also the universal mothers that correlate with each of the elements and the directions. So we'll start with the east, wherever your east is, just internally you can face that way, and we call in the powers of the east. We thank you. We thank and call in cosmic womb mother of air. Thank you. Calling her in. And then we turn to the south, facing the south. We call in powers of the south. And we thank you. We acknowledge your presence. And we call in the dragon mother of fire, calling in the element of fire, a transformational element, fire that transforms, fire that quickens, fire that ignites in our passion, and also fire in our own bodies that activates the processes. So we thank you, fire, and thank you for your presence. Now we turn to the West and acknowledge the powers of the West and the Earth Mother and the earth and the land and the trees and the mountains. So we thank the Earth Mother and the earth element within our own bodies that give us structure, that materialize in the physical with form of our bodies, a form of our organs, a form of our systems and our bones. So we thank the Earth Mother. And then we turn to the north, calling in the powers of the north and the ocean mother of love, the waters, calling in the power of water outside of us and within, the rivers, the oceans, the rain, the ice, the snow. And the water that carries the memories in our body, the waters, the fluids, the blood. And we thank the powers of the water. And in the center, the ether, calling in the powers of ether and consciousness and awareness. The dark moon mother, ether. And calling in here, again, acknowledging our main helping spirit. And the center, place of the center. And then calling out to our cosmic support, calling in the moon and feeling her presence, especially the moon and her day 3 of the moon that we are particularly grateful for today. And calling in the sun and the radiant vibrations of the sun, and calling in the earth that's beneath our feet as well. And calling in the ancient ancestral mothers, the guardians of the feminine medicine lineage, calling them in. These are the medicine women, the oracles, the divinators that have walked the earth and that are direct lineage with you, each and every one of you. Direct lineage. These are the wise and well mothers on your lineage dating all the way back to the Neolithic times when they were inseparable from the living matrix of the mother and consciousness and actions and thoughts and in spirit. So feeling all of the support, thanking all of the support, and thanking the ancestors and the spirits of the land where you find yourself today. Thank you to the spirits of the land that have allowed us to be here. We thank you. We acknowledge you. And so the first breath that we're going to do, or the first way of activating, we use our breath and we use sound. And so we're going to do as a quick refresh. We're going to do the lunar cycle breath, which starts all the way at the root, comes up through our bodies, through the front part of our body, come up in the inhale, and then we exhale down the back, all the way to our root again. So it's from root to crown, inhale, crown to root, exhale. And we're going to pause on our sacral womb, which is our lower abdomen. You can bring your hands there. And we're just going to pause in our inhale. So it's going to be maybe like maybe like a fifth way up. You're going to inhale in through the nose. So inhale, pause, day 3, and then continue to inhale all the way to the crown, and then exhale. So things to remember. We're going to inhale through our nose. We're going to exhale through the mouth. That is the sacral chakra breath. Inhale nose, exhale mouth. Inhale nose, exhale mouth. And we're going to pause on day 3 and then continue to the full moon and then all the way back down. We're going to do this 7 times and I'll walk you through it. Let's begin. Breathe in. I didn't say pause. I'm sorry. Okay. Exhale. Let's try that again. Breathe in. Pause. Inhale. And then exhale through your mouth. Breathe in. Inhale. Pause. Inhale. And then exhale. Beautiful. Okay, breathe in, pause, continue, inhale, and then exhale. Breathe in, pause, inhale, and exhale. Breathe in, pause, continue inhaling, and exhale. Breathe in, pause, inhale, and exhale. Last one here. Breathe in, pause, breathe in, and exhale. And now we're going to continue our breath. I'm going to share the moon again so that you can see what the body of the moon looks like. Keeping your hands on your womb. Keeping your hands on the womb. Actually, we're not envisioning the moon yet, but we will soon enough. We're just going to breathe in through the nose, and then we're going to exhale the ooh sound. So breathe in, ooh, and we're just going to bring our attention to our womb space, our sacral womb space where our hands are. So we're kind of like breathing into our womb and exhaling through our womb. Okay, and that's it. And this is the front body, the womb space in the front body. Breathe in. Om. 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 Ah, and so just letting that integrate. Now we're going to do the same thing where we're breathing into our sacral womb again, and we're just going to allow, um, you can pick one of these three words: creativity, manifestation, or sexuality as your mantra. But know that they're all rooted in desire. And so I feel like a really important component here is to really actually anchor in a relationship with desire. So I would actually suggest that we use desire as our mantra and calling that in and knowing that they kind of like these are three expressions rooted in desire and rooted in that Pisces energy of oneness, of the divine, of that primordial essence that is, that gives way, that wants to express through us, right? It's that holy essence of our life force. And that we can also lean into that. And it's where all desire really comes from. As long as it's rooted in that, it can go far and wide, and we can create and be and become and become all of these different expressions of ourselves and have all of these different experiences, but coming back to and being held by this energy of Pisces, of the unconditional love, of the oneness, of the unseen divine realms. So I'm going to use desire. If you want to use something else, you can. We're just going to, instead of the ooh, we're going to say desire, just to kind of activate that. And again, we're going to breathe into our sacral womb and exhale from our sacral womb. In through the nose, out through the mouth, but of course you're speaking, so automatically it's out through the mouth. Here we go. Desire. 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 So just noticing what you're feeling, noticing what you're sensing. And for this last sequence, we're going to envision the moon in her day 3 body. And we're going to first envision the moon like we're swallowing the moon. We're swallowing it all the way down into our sacral womb. And then once we feel it in our sacral womb, then it's going to continue to expand, to expand, to expand, to expand, to expand, to expand, and even expand outside of our bodies, where we actually end up sitting in this womb's body, this moon's body. And so things to remember here is that we are envisioning the moon exactly as she appears here, with just the crescent on, a crescent should be on the right side, the crescent of light, because all the changes come in from the right side. And it's a very little crescent, so most of the moon's body is dark. So just be aware of that. And I'll cue you in as well. So we're going to breathe into our sacral womb, continuing the breath there, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Here we go. Breathe in. And now we're swallowing, swallowing, taking in the moon. One exhale. Breathing her in. Inhale and exhale. Taking the time as we take her in, breathing in and exhale. Breathing in. And we're letting the moon come in gently and slowly. And landing in our sacral womb, inside in our pelvic cavity. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Last one. Feeling her body inside your sacral womb, envisioning her there. And now she's going to start to expand. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And now starting to move past the physical boundaries of your body. She's expanding outside of your own body. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. And last one, you are sitting and she is all around you, like 5 feet out from your body. And you're sitting and being held by the moon. Let's do that one more round of 7. Breathing in and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Continue at your own pace. 3 more. And I'm just sitting in silence for a minute. And then just allowing yourselves to feel and integrate all of that. As we do the water chime, calling on the energy of Pisces as we receive qualities of the deep primordial waters of Pisces that flow through us in a deep longing and desire to be, to become, to experience. You can allow yourself to reflect on what deep desires are rooted in your soul. At this moment, at this time in your life. What is it that you want? What is it that your soul desires? And this is not something to answer from your mind, but rather from this sacral womb, from your womb. And so I welcome you to take the time to be with this inquiry and connect with the desire in your being to become, to experience at this time in your life. What are those desires? And perhaps take some time to commit them to paper and to bring them out into the world to manifest. First level of manifestation is actually writing them, moving them from the liminal realms into the seen world, only if words, but words are part of the magic and part of the manifestation and carry a lot of power. And perhaps making a list, quote unquote list, gentle list, 1, 2, 3, 5. Don't overwhelm yourself. Small list. And reading them out loud every morning, taking 5 minutes, reading them and sounding into them. Because all you're doing is bringing it into consciousness and then directing your life force energy and sound and vibrational frequency into that vision, that desire. And so that's an experiment you can try for this lunar cycle, for this month. We're in day 3, so up to the next new moon in February. And read it out loud every day. Read it out loud. And of course, as we move into our solar plexus in the next few days, it's like power is going to come up around. Do I have the power to manifest this? Or feeling powerless, right? And so it's going to be a journey all the way through as we move through the different gateways and different themes. But let's start here where we are today. And if it calls to you, if it resonates, take on the practice. Many, many blessings. And see you soon. Thank you.